now.
Okay, awesome. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to get on the desktop so that I can kind of share my screen real quick. So yeah, I think this is something that I actually talk about in the mastermind. I think the traveling nurses are the mythical creature that everyone kind of gravitates to because it seems simple and straightforward enough. But the challenge with them is you're going to be getting close to market rent for a short-term rental. So unfurnished, you could probably make similar to what you're getting for a furnished unit, is what I'm finding. And so it makes it very, very challenging, very, very challenging to get a profit from it. And I wish I knew that's what you were doing with it, because that is going to be very challenging, especially when you're connecting directly with the travel nurses, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The only way to kind of overcome that challenge is to connect directly to recruiters and connecting directly to the housing specialists, charge nurses within the facilities, making those connections. If the hospital is paying you directly, or if the recruiters are paying you directly, that's a different ballgame altogether. That's really one of the only ways to be profitable in this vertical. So let me do this. I would love to do an analysis for you real quick on AirDNA, just so that you can see how to do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see.
Would you mind sharing your address, or an address that's close to your property, whatever you're comfortable with?
Sure. The address is 3804 Benjamin Court. And that's Atlanta 30331.
Give it to me one more time.
3804 Benjamin Court.
Southwest Atlanta?
Southwest Atlanta.
Okay. How much revenue did you generate this past year?
This past year, I generated $13,526.27.
Is that top of line gross revenue?
Yes.
Okay. According to AirDNA, and although, this number is not, I would say, gospel, but you have the potential for this 2 in Benjamin Court. Potential estimated revenue is $31,200. What was your average daily rate on Airbnb?
I set my own rate, so that probably was the downfall. However, I don't know. Whatever I felt was a good rate, whatever was going on. So that varied. I would say maybe the daily rate 95, 100, 115 at the max, at the high end. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as the listing, do you mind dropping the link?
Sure. Let's see.
And your guest count, was it 4 or 6?
Or 5? Oh no. I don't know how to drop the link, but I can give you if you go on Airbnb.com, I can give you the number.
Mm-hmm.
It's 40529564.
This is it. Super
I
cute.
really I
Is this
can't
it?
really I can't
Oh,
really see your screen. Hold on, let me see
okay.
if I can. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, there.
You can see my
Yes, that's
screen?
it. Yes, that's it. Hmm.
Okay, so your guest count was at,
Oh, the guest count, I usually only had two people at the most was two. I didn't really, it's a small home and I didn't feel comfortable with four people in there. Um, the sofa bed works, but it was never used. Generally, folk would use that bedroom, the main one, the guest bedroom, or the smaller bedroom.
so Imani, are there two queen beds?
That's a king right there.
King,
And
okay,
the second bedroom is a queen
okay.
and the
It
sofa
is
bed.
absolutely super cute. But here's the biggest challenge I see. So if you, are you married, Imani?
Yes,
If you and your husband and me and my husband decide, you know what, let's go and visit a town together, the four of us could totally fit and enjoy the space thoroughly, couldn't we?
yes, I've had as many as four. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's the exception. Because it is small, it's only 1542 square feet. It's not a lot of space. So I felt to keep it everything tight and no damages or anything, two to three people. And then of course it would depend on uh the demographic, who was coming.
Right,
I would
right. All of the
try.
screening, that's already. But what I'm telling you is if we decided, you and I, we decided, okay, let's hurry up and grab a place, let's book a trip. If your guest count is three guests, you're not even going to show up and search.
I don't know what that is.
What I'm saying is if you and I
Oh, in search. You said in search.
search, yeah, you're
Okay,
not going
I'm
to show up
sorry.
in the search
Gotcha. Gotcha.
because you have it three guests. So I think that's a lot of missed opportunity. And of course, once they attempt to book, we can do screening and all of that. But already you're just not showing up for four guests, which could be
Right.
mom and dad and two kids, which could be two couples that could totally fit. Of course, the sofa is not going to be used. You've got two bedrooms, two whole bathrooms. I see a lot of missed opportunity here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
I hear you.
and there are processes in place. We can't be afraid to be hosts because there are processes in place where we can go ahead and screen guests. We have Super Hall, we have Auto Host, which charges $2 to $3 a month to do a quick guest screening, background check, facial recognition to make sure at least who they say they are is who's coming.
Mhm.
That's a start. And then you could, at least if you know who's coming for real, you could do a little, more digging if it's something that seems a little off or seems a little bit questionable. But already, Imani, I don't feel like you're showing up to people that you can definitely serve. And so that's where I think a lot of the missed opportunity is. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So whether and I'm not doing this to convince you to keep it, but
Sure.
for your next property, I definitely want you to maximize because here's my rule of thumb. If I have two bathrooms, that's going to be 3 to 4 guests per bathroom. Okay.
Hmm.
So I would
Hmm.
already put it at 6 to 8 guests, 6 to 8 guests. But if you feel it's tight, 4 guests should be the absolute minimum. Okay.
Hmm.
This But this is, I mean, I have no complaints about your listing. The listing is beautiful. You did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful, wonderful job.
And that's what hurts because I think it has potential.
Absolutely. Look at this. Imani, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Do you see this? Fully stocked, fully stocked. Yes, you definitely lost money. I can see it. I can see it, and I can see why. It's that, how long have you had it 3 guest minimum? Is that something new?
Well,
Or 3
I
guests max?
actually I'm embarrassed, but I don't even remember putting a max or a minimum on the guests. Well, I take that back. I think I have put in the description or 2 people preferred or something. I have to go back and read it. It's been a minute since I read this, my introduction there.
Gotcha.
But when I first created the content, I believe I said 2 people or a couple, but no more than 3, because again, it shows, okay, but it's small. It is tight.
But I'm not living there. I didn't buy it.
Oh,
I just need to
yeah,
be there in town for a few days, 3 nights.
yeah.
It's cozy. I'm in, I'm out. I'm going to see family. I'm going to out to dinner. I may see a show. I may, be interviewing for a job for 3 days. I am not there to live forever. My kids aren't, I'm not raising kids there. The investor mind is totally different, right? I'm not raising kids there. I don't need room for my dogs. I am just there for 2 or 3 nights. Is this not sufficient for me for 2 or 3 nights? Because
But
otherwise, I'm in a hotel room, Imani. I'm in a hotel room. This is wonderful. This is spacious. Because my alternative is I'm in a hotel room. Explain that to me.
okay, well, for 4 people, the bed, okay, so you would sleep 2 per bed,
Of course.
okay, and
And then you have, so say what, here's my demographic. For instance, mom and dad is in one room, okay?
mhm, mhm.
And then 2 kids, if they're like my kids, they're like, I'm not sharing a bed. One's in one room, and then one is on the sleeper sofa in the living room. Otherwise, it's 2 couples, each get their room.
Okay, let me see. So how would you charge? That's different from what I would charge.
I would charge the rate that I would utilize dynamic pricing. I'm looking at potentially anywhere from 130 to 150 per night.
Okay, well, I certainly wasn't asking anything like that for 4
Because guess
people.
why? Guess why? Again, okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Imani. And this is very different from anything I've done. I can go into analysis, but let me do this. This is in, you said Cascade is the area, or?
Yes, is the Cascade area.
Okay. And could you remind me of the zip code one more time?
Yes, 30331.
30331. Okay. I need 2 rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 guests,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do 2 rooms. This is just a basic search, just to get your mind around it. If I were to go and get a hotel, already 2 king suites, 1 room, 149, 139 for 1 queen. So one of your bedrooms, 1 bedroom is 139.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that give you a little bit of perspective before I go too deep?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're like, how could you charge that? Well, let me go to the Hilton near Cascade. 1 bedroom is $139. You're giving me 2 bedroom, a kitchen, right? A full kitchen, a living room. Am I right?
Mhm.
So at the least, if you can't charge 139, then what are we doing?
Mm.
So, and the other thing, Gladys, so say again, me and you, your husband, me and you and our husbands, right? We
Mhm.
each get a room and we're splitting that 139 by two. That's $70 a piece per night. Two adults, two adult units, $70 a piece. That's still
Mhm.
not bad on us. It's not like you're overcharging. I'm like, oh, that's a deal. Where can I
Yeah.
find nightly accommodations for $70 a night? You know,
Nowhere. Yeah.
nowhere. And look at this cuteness. This is absolutely the cute as a button. Again, not to tell you to keep it, but I feel like this is absolutely cute as a button. This, yeah, I really like it. So whatever you do, whatever your decision, keep those numbers in mind. Maximize your revenue. Again, I'm not coming here to live forever and raise children. So if it's clean, if it's, you know, fully loaded, your kitchen is fully stocked. I saw all your dishes well appointed. I could sit here, grab a meal, go out, do what it is I need to do, and come back. I'm good to go. I don't need much more than that. So whatever you decide to do, if you're going to grab that cash to reinvest, think about ways to maximize your revenue, because again, it's not about a ton of square footage of space, right?
Mhm.
That's when you're
Mhm.
buying a home for yourself. I need your investor cap on. When you're buying something for a short-term rental, as opposed to a long-term rental, as opposed to a personal home, it's a different thinking process. I don't want to know about your schools, right? Again, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the same thing. It falls into that same category. So a lot of opportunity here. And the great thing about short-term rentals is there are different levers that you can pull. Okay. And those
Mhm.
levers are you can definitely tweak things to maximize. You can provide extra offerings, upsells. If you find something that has a two family or 2 units, that's another way to optimize as well. But
Mhm.
your property is very, it's super cute,
It
super
is,
cute.
and that makes the decision so hard because
Mhm,
it is a very comfortable space. I
mhm,
limited it only because I wanted to ensure it stayed comfortable. I didn't think to compare it to the local hotel, the Hilton over there or anything. It never
mhm.
occurred to me. And I didn't use Air DNA to get
Yeah.
the going rate. Um, so therefore that explains, the shortfall, I think,
Yeah. And
as
it's
far
it
as operational expenses
I
that,
agree.
I I am falling down on. Um, my only resort was the medical professionals because at least it was a more mature audience, um, and careful. The Airbnb crowd is difficult to handle sometimes.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get
Um,
it. But again, there's ways to mitigate, right?
okay.
There's
Hmm.
ways to mitigate and there's ways to solve. And so I appreciate that you're saying that they're difficult to handle sometimes, because they are. So
They
how do
are.
we solve this? How do we solve it? Right. And so it
Mhm.
comes with processes, it comes with understanding a line of questioning that will deter the fears. And I totally get it, but I don't want it to make us shy away from doing business. Look,
Yeah, I
look,
agree.
Imani,
Yeah, I
look,
agree.
Gladys, four
Mhm.
guests, one bedroom.
1 bedroom.
4 guests, 1 bedroom. Let me see the real nightly rate. And they were charging an average of $108 per night. And then this 3 bedroom was charging an average of $178 per night. So you need to be somewhere in between. You see 140,
Mhm.
130, 140, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're still
Mhm.
doing good. You're still a good deal.
Is
Have
that in
a
the
deal.
area of where I'm located?
Yes, I'll show you. So this one is here, Fairburn Road Southwest.
Yeah,
That's your area, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right here. And then
Mm-hmm.
they're in here.
Hmm. Interesting. I didn't, yeah. Um,
Yeah, the 3 bedroom appears to be across the street from you.
Across the street. Let's see where that might be. What number does it say? Number two? I can't.
It's number 6 right here.
Number six.
You're number
So
1 and they're like number 6.
I really wish I knew who that was. Oh, it's on Mays Crossing there, it looks like.
Okay, so it's not
And
exactly across the street, it's like behind somewhere.
yeah, what how many bedrooms did it,
It's
or
three
three
bedrooms.
bedrooms?
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a look at that front real quick. Okay, yeah, I see the house.
Yours
Yeah,
is much cuter than this.
I think so too.
Yours is much cuter than this.
Yeah,
And they're charging
okay.
178.
A night.
178.
Okay. And they had 3 bedrooms though.
3 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be necessarily at 178, but I'm just telling
78.
you, you're cute. So you might be trending very, very close.
Close.
You're
Yeah.
cute. You're much
Yeah.
cuter. Your setup, the whole design, the flooring, they have carpet for days and we don't like carpet. That situation, So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
So at least
this
150.
at least 150. Yeah. I
Mhm.
I am not sure if I had a super host and lost it, and I believe that dropped me
Mm.
tremendously. So that would account for the type of people that were or guests that were inquiring.
Mhm, mhm.
And
So what do you know what happened? Why it dropped you, the superhost?
yes, I had one incident. I had an incident and got a bad review, and I think a couple of times maybe I waited past the 24 hours to respond. I'm not really sure. I didn't really do a lot of analytical behind it. Um, just started trying to work on bringing myself back up however I could. Um, but it takes time.
Mhm.
So, again, I have been on the fence for 3 months about how to go forward here. Should I take
Mhm.
advantage of the bidding war and let it go? Um,
Mm.
and just start over, with the knowledge. But then, I applied for the refi, and as of last week, it was still in effect. I think the rates may have changed because they changed so quickly.
Mhm.
So I thought, to do another 30 years,
And what
I'm
would your monthly
60.
payment be?
Well, see, that was the other piece. The monthly payment would be pretty steep, about between 1,100 to 1,300 a month.
And right now you're at 700?
Right now, I'm at 789. So I could make that. I mean, I could I could make that because what I'm asking on the low end is 1750.
Mm-hmm.
But now with this additional information, of course, it would be different. But that was clearing 960 something dollars for 1750
Mm-hmm.
per month. Now, if I raised it to 23, which I have done on Furnish Finder, of course, it would cover the 13 if that's the
Mm-hmm.
highest that the refi would uh, present to me per month, 1300 something.
Got you.
But the refi would allow me to keep the property, pay off some bills, and get what I would like for myself and my family at this point in my life, which is, some of the things that we enjoy um,
Gotcha.
to pay
So
for.
is the refi, are you getting a nice chunk of cash out?
Well, he gave me two options. One, 111 out, but then that would definitely be 13 something a month
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little more. And then the other option was about, I think, 98 out,
Mm,
and that would be a little lower a month, maybe 1100 something a month.
gotcha. Gotcha.
So and the thought of having that hanging over my head, it doesn't kill me, but do I want that extra? Do I want that now in my life? Having to have to pay, you know, that monthly note. And that still doesn't include, you know, the utilities. That would just be the mortgage.
That's definitely, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's definitely a great question for one who would see
Yes.
your whole picture, you know?
Hmm.
For me, I'm a little bit riskier because maybe I'm just thinking too short term, but although I did have an opportunity and I did retire back in February, but
Hmm.
if I need to get back to work, I still have 20 years that I
Oh.
can get back to work if I wanted to. But
Uh-huh.
because you are retired, I I don't I don't think I would recommend your you going up on the mortgage like that. You know what I mean?
That's the rub. That's the rub, Rachel.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would do it personally. I would do it all day, every day, because I'm risky and I'm an investor, and I know I'm going to optimize and crush it with short-term rentals, and I'm
Okay.
buying more. I'm in acquisition phase. I'm buying more. I'm buying more. I'm buying more. But you said to me in the very beginning, you're just looking to take a breather. You're looking to cut back. You're retired. You want to enjoy the fruits of your labor for once in your life. You're at a different stage than I am. Does that make
I am
sense?
at a, yes, I am at a different
Mhm.
stage. Now, I don't mind working. I, because, so I had to ask myself if I did sell it,
Mhm.
well, naturally, I would want to reinvest in real
Mhm.
estate.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking rental arbitrage, but
Oh
that's going to
no.
take,
No,
no?
ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
that's
Not
what
for
I was going
you.
to ask you. What were your thoughts on that because of the
Not
rental
for
rates gone
you.
up? Yeah.
If you want to talk about rental arbitrage, let's keep this space, Imani, and you need to join my mastermind so that I can help you optimize it. If it's between rental arbitrage and something else, no, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
Well, I didn't have any details on rental arbitrage other than the fact that it's a short-term rental and you don't have to own it. But with the new costs, with the costs increasing like crazy, I didn't know how beneficial that idea was.
Mm-mm.
So
Not for
I
you.
thought,
It's
I
not for
thought, oh,
you. It's for that young
mhm,
individual who
yes.
has that hustle and they're ready to take down 5 or 6 of them and they're going to make a career out of it. I have a few rental arbitrage units. The cash flow is great once you've optimized it, but it takes, first of all, it takes time to optimize it. You have zero control. You see how you're like, I only want this amount. You really don't have a lot of control over that
Exactly.
asset. Someone else owns it. And
Yeah.
whoever owns it is not even the one who's managing it. There's a property manager. So there's so many layers of bureaucracy a lot of times. And you're no longer an independent operator doing your thing.
Got it.
And I just see how cute your space is. Say something goes wrong, something needs to be fixed,
Mhm.
and it happens, and you're waiting for them to, fix it. They're not going to fix it in a timely manner, not in a manner that satisfies you and your level of service you want to offer. So now you're going to have to fix it out of your own pocket for a place that you don't even own.
Say no more. That was not that was not anything that I was rushing toward. Trust me. With
No.
with the money, with the fees, I thought I could invest in real estate. I mean, there's the subject twos, there's um the pending foreclosure thing. I mean, there are different niches that perhaps I could, look at. But and then there's the stock market. So of course, considering different ways that I could continue to invest whatever funds I receive. Because once you get the proceeds, well, I'm looking at immediately you have capital gains tax to pay. You have the commission for the realtor to pay. You have the closing costs to pay. So whatever funds uh, I will accrue profits. Well, a nice chunk is going out the window immediately. Um, and what's faster than spending money? So, I'm thinking if, I don't have anything to invest in immediately after gaining the funds. Of course, I'll, do the best that I can as far as investing. Uh, So, I wasn't clear on what my strategy is as far as what to do with the funds, but it's hard to ignore the seller's market and the bidding wars that could, if someone sees this property, I think I wouldn't have a problem with it selling. Um, again, I just did the landscaping and it's cute. So it's just a tough decision, Rachel.
No, it's a tough decision, but I want to live in the gain and not the gap. It's an amazing decision. You did good,
Well,
lady. You did great.
okay.
You did great. It's a tough decision, but wow, what an opportunity, right? A
Yes.
lot of people right now, they don't have this tough decision to deal with. It's a good tough decision to deal with, and it's going to take some reflection, some pondering, some wise counsel. Let me just say one thing tactically that you mentioned a little bit earlier. If you do want to invest in real estate, you wouldn't have to worry about capital gains taxes if you do what's called a 1031 exchange.
And that's where you pick up another property, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah. So
I
just
don't
making
have
sure
another
you're aware of
property.
that.
Yeah,
What was
I mean,
that?
I don't have another property at my fingertips that I would be picking up. I
Right.
mean,
No,
I
you
mean,
have 6 months to pick one up.
oh, oh, okay. I
You
didn't
have
realize
six
that.
months to pick it up. Yeah. And you would definitely need to have a qualified intermediary to come on board as you're accepting the offer. So if you go that route, make sure you have a qualified intermediary before you close. Okay. Don't
Mhm.
hold the money. Don't ever let the money touch your bank account. That's if you're going to go that route. I'm just putting it out there to make sure that you're aware. But anyway,
Mhm.
so yeah, no, for sure, it's not going to be rental arbitrage. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. So we know that. We don't know what it's going to
Yes.
be, but we know what it's not going to be. And that's a start, right?
Sure. And
That's a
and
start. Mm-hmm.
and I'm so glad that you mentioned that it was a consideration, but you always have to look at uh just the rising cost of rent now is nuts. Um
Exactly.
and so that wouldn't be
Exactly.
ideal. But that was something I did think about, that I could do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would need to find other channels to invest. And I don't think that would be that difficult, really. But the decision is, do I want to pick up this refi that's presenting itself? I've been approved. Do I want to go that route? Do I want to? Can I manage this nut every month? That's so much higher. Um, and you know, I think I could. Is I think I could really. Um, but the one piece I didn't share with you is that there's something that I want in my life at this age that's going to cost me, and it's going to have a monthly note. Um, ki- the short-term rental could ideally pay for both. It could pay for the mortgage, and it could pay for what my little item is that I want and been wanting and want for my family. It could pay for both. Uh, I would have to hustle a little bit to ensure, but from what you've outlined, knowing how to price the property properly could make a difference. Um,
And
so so
that's the difference. And that's the
yeah.
difference. It does, I will say, especially in the beginning, it does require attention, right? And
Hmm.
just setting it on Furnish Finder is not going to do that for you.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? It does require attention. And so let me show you. Let me do another screen share. And I know we're past our time, but I
Yeah,
thought
we
this
are.
was
And I'm going to
so
let you go because
important.
I'm sure you have a calendar full of activities today.
You already know. You
Of
already know.
course.
But I definitely think this is important. And
Thank you.
I do want to take the opportunity to share. Just, I mean, it really, let me see if I can find where is it? Okay. Okay, there it is. I have multiple screens. That's why you'll see me looking
You do, yeah.
over the over the side. So let me take this off. So it, again, like I said, it does require, so within the program, I will tell you, and this isn't a pitch fest at all,
Hmm.
but the pricing optimization, we have mastermind meetings every 2 weeks
Hmm.
where my revenue manager coach, I have a revenue manager coach that has a hot seat. And the members, what they do is they have to fill out this form. He gets the response announcement. So they fill out, here's the course, the pricing hot seat. They have to fill out this form. Have you been through Tim's training? And I'll show you Tim, and you probably saw Tim. He's a co-founder of Bowie, and he's Cornell trained revenue manager. He's managed for hotels and he's had his own short-term rentals and really large portfolios. So he's my revenue manager coach in the program. And so
Hmm.
they fill this out. Have you been through the dynamic pricing coaching in the library? Link all of your listings here. What's your occupancy rate for the last month? Which dynamic pricing tool are you using? Explain what's going on with your listing. Who's your ideal guest? What's been working? What challenges are you facing? And so when he comes on those days that we have hot seats, he'll go through the whole listing and he'll show you exactly where your pricing should be on this day a week. And he drops a lot of tactics. For instance, we had a student that had 7-day bookings straight, like a 7-day stretch. And she said afterwards, there was nothing for a little while. And so here's what his tactic was. He said, whenever you have like a nice chunk like that, that first day after that chunk is over, you want to drop it down. low,
Mm,
as low as you can sustain, but then the other ones you can leave them high, and then
mhm,
you um, block it to like a 3-night or 4-night minimum stay, so you can just recapture that revenue back. And so
mm.
she did that, and she said that night she texted me, she got 4 bookings.
Ah,
So these
interesting.
are the tactics. Like I know revenue management, but not like he does.
Mm-hmm.
So they have strategy, tactics, algorithm, just weird things that they're looking
Mm,
at. Another
mm-hmm.
coach that I have is Rafa. I don't know if you're familiar with Rafa. He was interviewed
No.
on Bigger Pockets. Yeah, he's the operations coach. So cleaning
Mm-hmm.
team, and we have market analysis. We have our weekly coaching. And of course, Amy, she does a design class like twice a month as well.
She
And
does.
so, yeah. So all of this you're seeing here are different sessions for
Hmm.
the program, because it's just really important to stay on top of it. And so I do have the mortgage prep on Wednesdays. That one is public for everyone. I don't know if you're a part of that, but
Mm-mm. No.
I'll show it to you. That one is free. You can see it in here. So Brenna, I like her a lot. She's got creative ways. Sometimes she structures things.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely take a peek at that. It's every Wednesday till June. Mortgage
Mm-hmm.
prep one-on-one. I know you're looking to either sell or refi, but if you can stay a little bit ahead of the curve so you can know what's out there, I think it'll
Mm-hmm.
help inform you. Like, okay, if I were to go and buy, what are the things lenders are looking for, so that you can start kind of getting your head wrapped around it if you
Okay.
have the time. But yeah, that's in
Yeah.
the Facebook group. If you go to events,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see it. Yeah,
And that's under short-term gyms or
it's in this Facebook group here. Are you
luxury real
the
estate?
luxury Facebook group? You're in this Facebook
Okay.
group, right, Gladys?
I am, but
Mhm.
I don't
If you
catch
go to
everything.
events, yeah, if you go to events here,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see everything
Mm-hmm.
coming up. Like tonight, we're talking about tax savings, which are short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Brenna tomorrow. Yesterday, we had the direct booking site show with Mark Simpson. He dropped 101 tips on how to get more bookings.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that one was really, really good. Actionable steps,
Yeah.
how to get good reviews. And let me see what else we have going on. Yeah, just
Mm.
Brenna's
You
keeps
have,
showing up because she's every Wednesday. Yeah. And of course, we're going to the summit. I don't know if you saw the short-term rental summit where I'll be speaking
well,
there.
I briefly saw it.
Mhm.
Yeah, being in this dilemma, it was just like I saw it and I went, okay, I don't even know if I'm gonna have a short-term rental anymore.
I
So
understand.
I didn't really focus too much. I thought it was a great opportunity though for if I do stay with it. But it is what is it New Orleans or
No, it's actually Nashville.
Nashville? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Rachel, this is just something I up until the last minute, I just don't know, you know, um, which way to go with it.
Is there a
Keep it,
medium ground where you wouldn't necessarily take out everything for cash out, and maybe you can take out some if you're going to keep it? You know what I mean? Like instead
yeah,
of
yeah.
90 or 100, what
Hmm.
would it look like if you only took out 50, so that I don't like your I don't like your monthly expense
No,
going
I don't either.
up that much. You know what I mean?
I
That's
don't
the
like it
part.
either. I don't like it either.
Mhm.
Well, he
You
did
mind giving
well,
me an idea of your age
yes,
range, Miss Gladys? What's your
yes,
age range?
yes.
Under 50, over
Huh,
60?
over 60, over
Over
60.
60? Okay.
Yeah, I'm 66.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I don't think so. I
yeah,
don't think so.
really.
I wouldn't recommend it. I just wouldn't. You know what I mean?
I
I
do
just
know
wouldn't
what you
recommend
mean.
it. So if anything, if you feel like you have a special project that's near and dear to you, what's the price range of that project or that special thing
That
that you said you wanted to do?
the special thing that I want is anywhere between 70 to 100K.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
it would
Okay.
probably hit me per month at about 7 to 800 per month to satisfy. Now, even that, I looked at on the high end, which I don't think it would be that, but I went there, 800 and the 1300, that would be 2100 a month. I could do, even with Furnish Finder, I could do 2100 a month. I could ask 2100 in rent on Furnish Finder.
Yeah, but it's not a one-to-one, right? As you can tell from what you just learned from your tax person. It's not going to be a one-to-one. You're not going to bring in 2100 and all your expenses are 2100. There's got to be a
Right.
spread, right? There's got to
Yeah.
be a spread. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be. But
Mhm.
I'm not knowledgeable about so many. I don't even know what I don't know, you
And
know?
that's the thing. Look, I'm telling you, I know a lot, but I learn from my coaching sessions with my students. I learn from the coaches that I bring on board to teach us. And I know a lot.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I'm blown away with what you know.
And I
Um,
still don't know everything. So when you say you don't know what you don't know, I sympathize. Yes, I agree 1,000%. There's so much more out there. And it's really, really important that you get plugged in because I know you're doing the REI USA and I know that's beneficial, but at the same time, to get someone to laser focus, look at your listing, eyeball it with you every single week. That's one thing. And guess what? When you have a guest who's sketchy, if you have another set of eyes on it, of course you can go on the Facebook groups and all that and ask people, but when you're asking the peanut gallery, you start to wonder, okay, what information is real, what information is fake news. It's really different when you're a part of a mastermind of other individuals doing what you're doing and just like really, really laser focused on you succeeding, because the caliber of individuals we have in our program, some are, in their 30s, some are in their 40s, some are in their 60s and 70s. And I tell them the same thing I would tell you is like, I wouldn't over leverage. I wouldn't over leverage that, depending on their age, their runway, because not to be morbid or anything, what if illness strikes? What if
yes.
you know what I mean? And I'm talking to you as though I'm talking to my own parents, honestly, because I don't, when they want to do extra special thing, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're not a
Yes.
spring chicken, mom. I
Yes.
know you feel like it. So
Hmm.
I'm a little bit protective of my, elders. I
Yes.
really am. Not
Yes.
that you're an elder, but
Well,
I'm a little bit old.
I am. And the runway, even though, I feel fine now,
Mhm.
but my runway is certainly, there is an ending point. And, there are days when, I I have to ask myself, what if something happens? Can I make that monthly payment? If something happens to the home I'm somewhere else, do I have things in place lined up that I can count on to fill that gap if I need some help? I know, uh, you know, there's things that can happen. You know, can I drop what I'm doing? Can I come from where I'm at? So uh, I hear what you're saying and I'm rethinking as you're speaking, the groups, the experience, the knowledge, the expertise is right there for me. It's right there for me. Um,
Yeah, and so if again, whichever way you go, if you're going to keep it, reinvest, definitely plug in with a group. And it doesn't have to be my group, but a trusted group with people who are going to look out for you. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't think anyone is doing what I'm doing.
No, I don't think so. Oh, no,
I don't
that's a
think
given.
so.
I don't think so either, Rachel. You're doing extremely well with what
I
you're
appreciate that.
providing. You're
And
providing quality
yeah,
um guests, information, resources, all of it. And it's apparent. You know, if I do the refi, I have to do it like now. If I'm going to sell, I have to do it like now.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so that's the rub too. You know,
yeah,
time is money right now.
yeah, it
So
is.
I'm
Mhm.
leaning towards selling, Rachel,
Okay.
only because of the runway,
Yeah,
only because of the runway.
yeah,
And you know, it's too many things that I may not be able to control. My health is good currently,
thank
but
goodness. Yeah,
God, who knows? You know, and then what? You know, and $111 a month, you know, how am I going to make that note if something happens to me? I
yeah,
mean, it's just, you know, if I was your age, it probably
yeah,
wouldn't be an issue at all.
yeah,
It wouldn't be an issue. You're what, 40, maybe
yeah, just
38?
turned 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. See,
Mhm.
if I was 40, I don't that it would be a no-brainer. It would be moot issue.
Mm.
But I have to look at my age
Yeah,
and go, wow, do I really want to risk this? I mean, I'm a risk taker, but I
yeah,
don't know about this one.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I hear you.
You know, if I could
If
talk
it,
to someone who's my age, you know,
mhm.
who's 60. You know, everybody around me is younger in this. Everybody. It's so interesting. I mean, you have the experts who are older, but the people out there in the field, I mean, you know, out there doing it every day, they're all younger.
Yeah, yeah. But again, I have students who are older who are just starting to, they're doing it and they're learning. So
Okay.
just know that they're out there, but they're a part of a community because they didn't want to just be alone doing it. You know what I mean? Because there are things that
Yes.
come up that they're not prepared for. Like you said, you don't know what you don't know. Some things that come up that are so wacky and we navigate them together. Now you're not on your own Googling by yourself wondering, okay, is this really the right approach? But for what it's worth, I will tell you this in your decision making,
Hmm.
I project if you were to keep this cute little property on Benjamin Court, it could generate about 32K for the year. Okay. Which is, let me do the math on a monthly basis, calculate it, which is about 2,700 a month.
Hmm. Okay. The other. So what I would need to do is raise the price, the nightly rate. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what I would need to do is join your group and you know click into the resources that you just mentioned
Yeah.
and figure out how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And then the other
You can't
piece,
do it by yourself.
no, I definitely
Yeah,
cannot.
you can't do it by yourself. If you're going to try to do it by yourself again, just sell it
Yeah,
because it's going to require, it requires attention and it requires expertise and it requires, a community to get you going, to get you
yes.
on the right foot, because honestly, it sounds like this is something that you've enjoyed. And
Uh-huh.
looking at your space, I can tell that you do, because your space is outperforming your competitors in terms of the setup and the way you put care into it, right? You put care
Thank
into it,
you. It's
which
it's
is,
it's it, I enjoy it. I don't even mind cleaning it. But the other
Mhm.
piece is with the right refi, I don't even know, but I could talk to him again. His loan to value percentage that he used was 70%
Okay.
of the value of the home. I
Mhm.
think if he dropped it to maybe 60% of loan to value, I, that would that would of course affect the monthly cost,
Mhm.
because it would be a lower payout.
Mhm.
Um, so I could check that. Um, but every time I think about that, I go, it's still a lot of equity in the home. Um, would require me doing quite a bit legwork, to
Mhm.
get up to those prices, nightly
Mhm.
rates and vetting people and so forth.
Mhm.
And so I start to think, can I just sell it and get the money and just and just I don't even know if I could find another little house like this, but I could at least do the, 20% down on something, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you have your
And
project too, right?
well, yeah, the little items that I want to purchase, yes, and that means
Mhm.
so much to me. Um,
Mhm.
it's actually an RV.
Oh, okay. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking she's putting in a swimming pool.
Oh gosh, no, no, no. It's no,
No,
no.
that's fun. That's so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, but it's a depreciating asset. But it's something
Absolutely.
my family and I could enjoy, and I certainly will enjoy it. I grew up with one,
Hmm.
and I like it. That's what I want, And I figure at my age, can I have it?
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
So, that's a good payment though per month. If I could put down
Hmm.
20% on it, that would certainly help. So those are the things that are before me. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, and if I have never, I've had to make some decisions in my life, but mm, this one I
It's a
don't know.
tough one. It's a tough one. So I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah, this is one that requires counsel for sure.
Eh,
But I just wanted you to know the numbers, what
Sure,
they look like, because that's going to be a part of your decision making as well.
it is, and I
Mhm.
can't even tell you how much I appreciate you helping me look at numbers that potentially could be had here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it could work. It could
yeah,
absolutely work.
yeah,
And I would be thrilled because I'd still have the asset. Um,
yeah,
I still have
yeah.
the asset, and that's what everybody wants, a single family with no HOA.
Yes, yes. And then you're talking about arbitrage. I almost died. Thank God you
No,
got on this call today. Oh my
yes,
goodness.
yeah, well, no,
We don't go
that,
from ownership to arbitrage.
no, 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 no. I was
Seven
not
hundred
gonna
dollars
walk
a
into
month.
this. No, I
700
wasn't gonna
something
walk
dollars a month. How much are you going to pay in rent in an arbitrage? 1,800 a month from 700? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it was a consideration before we started with the rent increases and all of that stuff like last year. But this one, if I could drop that monthly note to say maybe 8, 9, maybe I can ask him what that would be, how much I could, cash out.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, but again, it still doesn't count for the utilities, insurance. So it's still going to come back up to 13, 14,
Mm-hmm.
but that would include everything though.
Yeah, and that's part of the calculations for sure. And you do want to go deep. You want to go all the way deep in anything, like with my students who are buying in markets with HOAs, we put that in there. Like you said, insurance. We put consumables, in there as a
Mhm,
small percentage. So all
mhm.
of that is part of the calculations for sure. Hmm. Well, I
Oh,
do have to run. They're waiting for me. I'm 4
yes.
minutes late to my next meeting. But
Oh,
Ms. Gladys, oh my
thank you.
goodness, I'm so glad we got to connect. A lot to think about, but definitely reach out to me and let me know which decision you make one way or another.
Gosh.
I
Oh,
know, but
Rachel,
it's a
just tell me, gut feelings, what
tell
would
you
you
what to
do?
do. Tell you what to do.
Yeah, tell me.
Here, I think I would encourage my parents to keep it. I think I would. And the reason is because the next question is, well, if I sell it, what can I buy? And I don't see a lot on the market right now that is within a budget that seems reasonable. I really think that little house could be a gold mine if it's positioned correctly. That little house could be a gold mine. That little house is gold, and I could totally see it supporting them within their retirement, within their, those years that they just want to travel and do, not only supporting them, but maybe even offsetting. Do you have a personal mortgage on the home you're living in?
The home I'm living in is a rental.
Oh, you're living in a rental.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Because you're wanting to travel and do your RV thing. Yeah. So if that's what they want to do, I could totally see it helping to fund something like that. So if they were to
Mm,
take out 20K and
mhm,
go and find an RV that's, maybe half the price of what you're looking for, and put the 20K down on it. Any overage, from the rental can pay for that RV, that monthly payment. And if they want to upgrade RV later, they can upgrade RV. But I think, you can probably find a good enough RV for 40 or 50. It's not going to be a Mac Daddy, but it might be a great starter, and then you can continue to upgrade if that's a thing. I'm not a big RV expert or anything like that, but
sure, yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. I think that little house is a gold mine. Not only can it pay for itself at 700 some dollars a month. Oh man, that thing.
Oh, well, that's gonna change. That's gonna change within, I mean, that's if I do nothing. It's 7, well, and that's
Right,
actually,
right, right. But
it's
then
gone
if
up.
you, and that's why I say, if you, it's
Yes,
gonna change
but
if you take out the full refi, right?
if I take, and I do want to take out something because I do want
Right.
the RV. Yeah.
Right. So that's if you take out the full refi. So
Hmm.
what I'm saying is I would take maybe something around 20 and 30K out instead of the 90, 110 out,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
use that as a down payment on an RV, or a half
Mm.
payment on an RV. And not, I would not, I'm talking to my parents, I would not take out, I wouldn't, I would recommend, mom, dad, I don't want you to take out the whole amount. Take out maybe,
Okay.
a quarter of that amount or 30% of that amount.
Hmm.
But enjoy your RV, buy your RV, find a vendor that's willing to allow you to pay $30,000. If you can't find a vendor willing to let you pay $30,000 on an RV, and then you put the rest on payments, while this little short-term rental continue to fund itself and the RV, I mean, I think that's a great place to be. But understanding, I don't know how much closing costs are going to be, all of that, because I wouldn't want your payment to cross the $1,000 mark. If we can keep it
Yeah.
under 1,000, I think that'll be great, kind of plus or minus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because 700,
Hmm.
there's, you're not going to find that. You're not going to find, like, you with 700, I could sleep so good at night, you know?
Right.
you're
Right.
you're you're sleeping well at night. I don't want you thinking about, okay, I'm at 1,300, I'm at 1,800 now, I'm at this, like,
Yes.
what are you paying right now in rent, if you don't mind me
Rent
asking?
is nuts. Rent is 1880.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, it's a nice, I'm down the street from the Brave Stadium.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm in this area, so
Mhm,
I'm okay, you know, I'm
mhm,
okay with that. I realize wherever you go, you're gonna pay for rent
mhm.
or wherever you stay. But so this is a sacrifice, but it's not really because it's nice. Now that's covered. This is covered, but like you said, I could drop that refi. I don't have to take out all of that just because it's available.
Yeah.
And just pay, maybe just get enough where I could pay off the car and get
Mhm,
the little RV
mhm.
and let the house. So now we're looking at a payment, like you said, under 1,000.
Yeah.
And I could darn well sleep better because right now I'm not
Yes, that
sleeping at
part.
all. Yeah.
Mhm.
And keep the house. And I
Why
guess I
why
could,
why do you say you're not sleeping at all? What's holding
I
what's
wasn't sleeping because that 1,300 a month, because I'm looking at, I still don't have the RV in there. Yeah, now we're looking at, if you add another 7, 8, we're looking at 21 again.
yeah. Mm-mm.
And then again, that's that 30-year pathway ahead of me
Mhm.
owing.
Yeah.
Uh, and just the additional, now I have a note every month that's higher than what I've ever had, really. Because in the last 10 years, I've only been paying 700 a month for the house. Um, Now, and actually, it's going to go up in July because the value of the property has gone up. So it's going to go up to 9. But that's doable. But with the refi, if I drop it to 50 or 60, 60 at the high end, I could at least pay off my little bills and put a decent down payment on the RV, and perhaps keep that monthly note. 11 maybe, but
The lower the better.
the lower the better.
11 is not the end of the world, but the lower the better, you know?
The lower the better. Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. The lower the better.
The
Yeah.
lower the better. But I think, trying to optimize this little house is a very worthy cause.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
trying to
think so
optimize
too.
it is a worthy cause. It really, really is.
I think it is. I think it's a golden goose.
I do. I do. I don't know where you're gonna find something like that. I mean, I love it. It's so cute.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh. Hmm.
And it's just, I can't, yeah, something's got to give. I've got to downsize on this R refi. I've got to downsize it. I have to drop it.
I think so. I think so. But again, seek out your wise counsel, because
Okay.
definitely reach out to those who you trust. If there's a financial advisor in your life somewhere, reach out to them, let them take a look at the whole picture
Okay.
to make sure that I'm not missing anything on this less than an hour webinar.
Right.
Because I do,
But I
I do,
appreciate it.
yeah.
I appreciate it, Rachel. Thank you so much. And
You're
I'm
so
gonna let you
welcome.
go. I'm gonna let you run,
Alrighty. Yeah,
but
I do
thank you,
have to run
dear.
though. Alrighty. You have a good
Okay.
one. Okay, Miss Guy.